Well, today I have another host picture for you. This one showed up in the back of my yard on April the 13th, 2021. I was drawn outside because I saw this enormous red dragonfly that was sort of caught on my porch, so I took the butterfly net to go get it and release it out into the open. And when I flicked the net up towards the sky to let the dragonfly loose, it drew my attention to this massive dragon. Hopefully you can see him, but if not, here's just an outline. He's really clear already, but for those of you who might need a little help in an outline, there you go. He was so massive that this picture is not cropped whatsoever. I could barely fit him in my phone. I've only ever had one other dragon show up, and this dragon showed up on Leap Day 2020. And you can see he's actually breathing something right out his mouth, and there's like people coming out of his mouth. Now, Kat's talked about some of the hosts and how they carry others inside of them, and here's a very blown up picture. Incredible the amount of detail that you can still see from that far away, but I'll go into that some other time. But here's a picture of Kat's picture in one of her Thekatkerr, one of her pictures of her calendar, and this is a dragon called an Aragon here on the left. That's her picture, and then up in the inset is kind of a pencil drawing over the Aragon. And then on the right is my dragon. I just kind of flipped the picture so that their heads were facing the same way to kind of compare. Now they're fierce looking, maybe not as soft and fluffy as Thekatkerr from Never Ending Story, who looks more like kind of a puppy dog face, kind and soft and sweet. However, when I started researching about dragons, I was shocked to find out that they've actually found preserved dinosaur feathers. So, wow, who would have thought? Dinosaurs that walk the earth, they're finding that some of them were actually covered in feathers. And these have been trapped in amber. This is what I'm showing you here was I just Googled dragon feather, and there's numerous articles and many pictures showing how they actually had feathers on them. So maybe Thekatkerr wasn't such a stretch after all, huh? Another thing I found, Micah Turnbow has had many encounters where the Lord has shown him about the dragons and how they originally, were created as these majestic beings in heaven. Some of them, of course, fell. And fascinating read. So I encourage you to go head over to beholdwonder.com if you're interested about dragons and learn more about that. Now this is another dragon from a children's movie called Haku, and he has sort of these whisker type things on the side, which if you go back and look at Kat's picture of her Aragon has a similar type thing on the side of his face. Maybe even two little kind of whisker things that come off of his face. So it's interesting because they may not look identical, although when I compared my dragon to Haku, they just, wow, it's amazing how similar they look. But I guess it's like dogs, there's a lot of different animals that classify as dogs, although they might not, a poodle doesn't look like a German Shepherd, and a German Shepherd doesn't look like a Yorkie, but they're all still dogs. So there apparently are many different types of dragons, that have different features or look a little bit different. But this is the one that showed up for me. And interestingly enough, shortly after he showed up, it was, I think pretty much a month later, it was in May. I believe it was around Pentecost weekend. Chuck Pierce came out and said, We are in a dragon season. And I just thought, wow, that is some kind of confirmation. Yes, indeed, we are. One showed up actually right over my house. So there you have it. One of the hosts of heaven looks like a dragon.